Hey, everybody. I hope y'all had a great day. This is Kim Dahnke, and tonight we are going to be doing our live webinar on simple food combining. Simple food combining. So I always give everybody until 8:03 to make sure that they get into here. So we'll do a little bit of housekeeping first. Please make sure that your chat is set to all panelists and attendees. So just click on your chat button and then it should say all panelists. Click there and choose all panelists and attendees. And as you are hopping on, please tell me who you are, where you're from, and if you're new or here for a refresh. Hopefully you were all with us last night and you've joined us for the second part. It is important information. All right. Hey, Mary and Susan and Janine on Facebook. Okay, we got Susan Hayes from McKaysville, Georgia. Welcome. Hi, Lydia Hill from Gainesville, Georgia. And I'm new, and she did attend last night. Wonderful, wonderful. Hey, Kim Woodward from Lafayette, Georgia. Newbie, welcome. Hey, Sarah. Yes, you were here last night. That's awesome. And thank you for participating in the groups today. Very, very much. Thank you. Hey, Michelle from Marietta. If you don't mind, Michelle, do me a favor and set your chat to all panelists and attendees for me, please. And my friend Leslie. Hey, Leslie from Panama City Beach. I'm so glad you're here. Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. And newbie. Yes, yes. Well, awesome. I'm glad y'all are here with me. We're going to have a great time. And if you did not get to watch last night's webinar, please go back and make sure that you do that, because tonight is part 2. So tonight's all on the simple food combining, but last night kind of goes over the whole lifestyle together. So make sure that you watch that. Hey, Christina from Dalton. Had to watch the recording last night, was studying for a test. Yeah, did Shibboleth in 2016, so kind of new now. I understand that. And there are some things that have changed a little bit. So I would just treat this as you're learning it brand new. And one of the most important things that, hey, Deidre, on Facebook, we missed you in class tonight. So one of the most important things that Travis said in the beginning that just struck with me, and I think it will help other people, was that you have to forget everything that you thought you knew about nutrition and start new, even if it was with Shibboleth, because some things have changed. Okay, so I'm glad that you're here and treating it that way. That is awesome. Okay, we got one more minute before we get started, but just to kind of tell you what is going to happen while we are together tonight, as I'm going to share a website with you. It's just a simple food combining website that you can look at and give yourself some examples. But you do not need to necessarily take screenshots of the things that you see and stuff like that, because you're going to have access to this. This is already, in fact, on the website, and it's already in the fast track laps. In fact, one of the tasks that I want you to do in the fast track laps is to save this. So you will have access to that. So don't worry about taking screenshots. Just take notes that you can use, notes that you will love. If you haven't said hello yet on Facebook or on Zoom, please tell us hello, and we are going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and we are going to get to this fast track Facebook page, not Facebook page, fast track website. Okay. Now there's a couple of things I'm going to go over just one time, and then we're going to not go over them again. And then I will, every time I come to a new category, I am going to read the food items in that list. The reason that I take the time to read the food item that is in the list is because it's very important that you start to familiarize yourself with what foods go in the lists. Hey, Angie from Canton, glad you're here. Welcome. And you can start to familiarize yourself with what types of foods go in each category, because you want to make sure that you combine those in a way that will keep you in efficient fat burning, which is EFB, efficient fat burning. So category 1 is a lean protein. And I hope that when I say these categories tonight that you're kind of training yourself. So when I say category 1, you're going lean protein, or LP, which is the abbreviation for lean protein. So you can do 2 to 8 ounces. Now, we don't really pay much attention to ounces. I do find it to be helpful if I'm out at a restaurant or something like that, because this is good information to help me order, especially if the menu will tell me how many ounces is in that. But 2 to 8 ounces. But your protein source just goes under the one hand. Okay, so this is where your protein source would be. So I've just never measured it. I just pull a piece of chicken breast out, cook it, and put it underneath my hand. And if I can't see it underneath this one hand, my protein source hand, then I'm good. Okay, but if you're curious, 2 to 8 ounces. Okay, so egg whites are a lean protein. All of your fish, chicken breast, turkey breast, pork tenderloin, boar's head turkey, boar's head chicken breast, boar's head London broil, low-fat cottage cheese, fat-free cottage cheese, Greek plain yogurt, Hebrew National 97% lean beef franks, one of those, and 96% lean ground meat. So all of those things work for a category 1 lean protein. That means to you that there's hardly any fat in that particular in these items listed here. The reason that you see boar's head specifically mentioned is that we know that it's the leanest, but there are other approved deli meats. You'd have to look for those in the food library. Now you're seeing a little plus sign right here, and you're seeing a flame. Now what this means is, this means that what we're going to go over, and you see these pluses and flames, these are excellent for efficient fat burning. These will be great fat burning meals. Now, one of the questions that I asked last night was, I told you the 5 categories. There's 7 categories of food. 5 of them you can eat by themselves. Who took notes? Who can tell me right now which 5 categories you can eat by themselves? Okay, lean protein is one of them. Yes. There's 5 of the 7 categories that you can eat by themselves. Who remembers what they are? All right, Sarah. Sarah, you are so, so close. Angie, you got it right. And Christina, yes, you can eat fibrous carbs by themselves. Lydia, yes. Yes. Okay. And Steve, I know I see a fibrous carb, a superfood, and some other things in there, lean protein, fours. Yes. Okay. So yes, you can eat lean protein by itself. You can eat fibrous carbs by themselves. You can eat protein plus fat, superfood, and shellfish. You can do all those by themselves, and those numbers are accurate. The category 1, category 2, category 4, category 6, and category 7. So it's the 3s and the 5s that you don't want to eat by themselves. But what this is saying right here is that you can have a lean protein by itself. You're still not going to do more than just one hand of it, okay? And Deidre, thank you for Facebook. She's on Facebook telling us this too. I love it. So this is your cooking oils. So MCT oil, the 100% MCT oil, coconut oil, ghee butter, hemp oil, and 0-calorie cooking spray. Now, we really recommend the 100% MCT oil. That is all medium chain triglycerides. Just be careful when you're buying it. When you look at the back of it and it says ingredients, make sure it says medium chain triglycerides, 100% medium chain triglycerides. What you don't want it to say is medium chain triglycerides from coconut oil. Coconut oil is 60% MCTs, but not all. Ghee butter is a clarified butter. It's 40% MCTs. And then but 100% MCT oil is the absolute best. We do sell one in our store. It is not recommended. It is not required that you purchase anything from our store to do Shibboleth. We want to teach you how to eat from the regular grocery store. But the reason that we have the things that we have is because, one, we find that they're not always easily accessible out in other stores. And we also just buy the best of what we like. So it's just that simple, but you're not required to buy those things. I like it when you do because, of course, it helps keep the lights on, which is important. But the Zero Drag is the name of that. That's the brand name of it. When you're having a cooking oil or a good fat added to a meal, 1 tablespoon is all you'd want to go up to. You may use less than that, but you don't want to go over that. The reason I like the Zero Drag is because in 1 tablespoon of Zero Drag, there's 100 calories, whereas most other MCT oils, in fact, I've never seen another one that didn't have 130 calories in it. So I like to have fewer calories, and ours does. It has been optimized for cooking, and this is a very important thing, that it's been optimized for cooking. And because you're going to be cooking with it. Now, you may hear of different ways to use MCT oil, but we use it for 3 purposes: cooking in a pot or a pan, using it in a recipe, and making salad dressings if you want to make a salad dressing. Those are the 3 reasons. But we're not going to put it in our coffee and make bulletproof coffee. We're not going to put it in shakes. It really truly is just randomly adding calories to a meal that you aren't purposefully using it for the reasons that I said: cooking in a pot and a pan, recipes, or making salad dressings. Otherwise, you don't need it. And there is no reason to, quote, get it in. You don't have to get it in. If you're cooking with it, use it. But if not, don't worry about it. Now, there is a difference here. I like to use 0-calorie cooking spray when I am cooking a protein plus fat, because a protein plus fat is an excellent protein for you. It just has more natural fats in it. So it's already got good fats in it. So therefore, I use 0-calorie cooking spray with that. But when I'm cooking a lean protein, I use 100% MCT oil, and I do use the Zero Drag. And what I like about it is it's a staple that I want in my home. It's been in the cabinet for a long time, but I pull it out and I use it when necessary. So it's really, really good, MCT oil. Okay, so now here is condiments. We did not even talk about condiments last night at all. There are a lot of items that you can use that are listed in the food library under the category of just condiments. It's not a numbered category. So for example, cooking oils and fats, that's really a category, but it's not a numbered category. Condiments, that's a category as well. But there's a lot of things that you can use as condiments. Here's the rule for condiments. You can, if you choose to or want to, use up to 50 calories of condiments with every meal. So you can do up to 3 meals in a day if you want to, and you can use 50 calories of condiments on that meal. You don't have to, though, because remember, who remembers how many calories I said are in 1 pound of fat? Yes, Lydia, 3,500. Yes, Sarah and Steve, awesome, good. 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat. So if we want to burn off 1 pound of fat, we need to be in a calorie deficit of 3,500 calories. So if we are just randomly adding 50 calories, good job on Facebook, Janine. If we're adding 50 random calories to our meals every single time, we're slightly slowing ourselves down. You might not think it's a big deal, and in the beginning, it's really not that big of a deal. Good job, Deidre. But as you get closer to a goal, you might want to pay more attention to that. So these are just things that I would just be really choosy with my condiments. If it's a condiment where that meal requires that condiment to make it taste like it should, then have the condiment. But if you just find that you slap a piece of cheese on everything just because, maybe you want to be pickier with that. So these are just things that you can kind of decide. But you can have 0-calorie condiments, 15-calorie or less spices and seasonings, salt and pepper, 15-calorie or less coffee creamers, salsa, salsa, reduced sugar ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, and Kraft fat-free mayo. Now, these are tiny, tiny lists, okay, just not to overwhelm anybody in the beginning. But there are so many things that can be used as condiments that we don't have absolutely everything that can be used as a condiment in the food library. In fact, we have a lot in there because people ask us to add it, but we have a rule about condiments. We call it the 5, 2, and few rule. So what you're going to look for on the nutrition label is you're going to first look at the sugar content. You want it to have 5 grams of sugar or less per serving. If that qualifies, then you look at the fat content. You want it to have 2 grams of fat or less per serving. And then you're just not going to use more than 50 calories of that. If you would like to have multiple condiments on your meal, they need to meet the 5 and 2 rule. And then if you're putting 2 condiments on there, they don't need to be more than 50 calories together. So let's say that you want to use a piece of cheese that meets the qualifications and it's 30 calories. Let's say that you want some mustard. Well, you can have it. It's 0 calorie. Let's say that you want some ketchup. Well, you'll want to not use more than 20 calories of ketchup because you're already using up 30 of your calories of the 50 for your condiments. So that's your condiment rule. Because, and I know that you know this, but there are a lot of calories in condiments. So you want to not put lots of calories into your system just with a condiment. So you want to be a little bit more careful with that. And if you are thinking, how can I remember this 5 and 2 rule? When I get into the grocery store, the word sugar has 5 letters. So SUGAR. And you want to make sure it has 5 grams of sugar or less, and then 2 grams of fat or less per serving, and then it would work. I had something similar, something funny happen the other day. I went to the grocery store specifically to buy the Classico, oh, what's it called? Oh, traditional pizza sauce. And they didn't have it. But they had 6 other pizza sauces on the shelf. Well, I didn't want to pull out my app and look up every single one. I didn't need to. I knew the rule. So I started flipping them over. And then I found the ones that had 5 grams of sugar or less. And then I looked at them next and found which ones had 2 grams of fat or less. And out of 6 that were there, 2 worked. Some of them had the sugar worked out, the fat did not. Some of them, the fat worked out, but the sugar did not. So I found 2 that met the rule, and I chose from those 2. So I hope that helps them explain condiments. But what this row right here is saying is that you can have a lean protein by itself, cook it up in the right oil, throw on some great condiments, and you would have an excellent fat-burning meal. So we're going to scroll down again. We have a new category here, category 7, shellfish. Again, you can have 2 to 8 ounces. Now, what did I say about category 7 shellfish last night? It's really just a what? That's right, Sarah. It's just like a 1. So a category 7 shellfish is really just a subcategory, or if you want to call it that, of lean protein. That's right, Lydia. It's a category 1 lean protein, but we call it a category 7 shellfish. But it works the same way in your body. The reason is because due to medical reasons and biblical reasons, some people don't eat shellfish. And so we just have it pulled off into its own category. But some items that are in this category are crab, lobster, shrimp, scallops. Good job, Deidre. Oysters, mussels, clams, and as I mentioned before, it doesn't have to have a shell to be in here. It can be octopus. So I kind of look at it as this. All things that are fish, we just put in the lean protein category. But all those other things that live in the ocean, the lake, the river, that aren't a fish, go here, whether it has a shell or not. So we can eat category 7 shellfish, which that's your lean protein source. It would still just go under this 1 hand. That could be your amount that you're going to have. You can cook it up in the right oil, and you could doctor it up with the right condiments, and you would have an excellent fat burning meal. So we're going to scroll down again. We have a new category here that we haven't talked about, HHF. And I'm not going to spend much time on here because in the beginning, some people don't even try. It took me about 6 months to try the hemp products, but now that I really love them. So I'm going to talk about it and explain to what it is, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. Let's see. Angie says, well, canned tuna is under lean protein number 1. All fish, Angie, would just be a category 1. But whether you called it shellfish or not, doesn't really matter since they're both lean proteins. But to be accurate, it's a category 1 lean protein since tuna is fish. So HHF stands for 2 things. HH stands for hemp hearts. You're welcome. HF stands for hemp flakes. So we just shorten it to HHF. Hemp hearts are actually a category 6 superfood. Hemp flakes are a category 1 and 2, which it means it's a lean protein and a fibrous carb together. Now, I'm going to mention that to you tonight because I want you to understand that some foods can be 2 categories just because they would have enough lean protein or enough fibrous carb or enough energy carb to qualify as that. But most items aren't. But I want you to be aware that it can. So hemp flakes are a category 6 superfood. Hemp hearts are that. Hemp flakes are a category 1 and 2. Very sweet hemp flakes are they've had a little bit of touch of maple syrup added to them with some mesquite and cassava seasoning, and they're good. I like them a lot. Hemp protein powder is really just hemp flakes that have been put in a powder form. So it depends on, some people will go, well, I don't like the texture of this, but I can use this. So it really just depends on what you want to do and like with it. But hemp hearts are a category 6 superfood. So a superfood has all 4 what in it? All 4. What qualifies a food to be a superfood? Yes, Sarah said it's got protein, carbs, fat, and water in it. Yep. And Lydia's telling us that it's got all of the macronutrients. And Angie says water, protein, carbs, and fat. Awesome. Awesome. Good job. Lean protein. Yep. Now, Steve, just to hone in just a little bit, it's got water, it's got protein, it's got carbs and fat in it. So it's really not necessarily just our categories that we use, but I just want you to make sure that it's water, protein, fat, and carbs. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the category numbers, Steve. But that's right. So a hemp heart has all 4 macronutrients in it. But what a hemp flake is, it's a defatted hemp heart. So if you've taken something that has all 4 macronutrients in it, and we're just going to skip water, okay? Then you defat it. What's left is the carbs. It's the fibrous carb, but the carbs and the protein. So that's how it's a 1 and a 2 together. So what this is saying is that you can take a lean protein, you can take something from this category, put it with something in this category, cook it up in the right oils, doctor it up with the right condiments, and you would have an excellent fat burning meal. So do you see how we just are putting meals together? And in the beginning, we just do really simple meals, but we do really, really simple meals, but you can expand them through looking at the recipe library and things like that. But in the beginning, it really is often just easy just to stick with these simple meals. So let's have a look next. This row is saying that you can take something from the category 7 shellfish with something from a hemp products category, cook it up in the right oil and doctor it up with the right condiments, and you would have another excellent fat burning meal. So now we've come to a new category here, category 2, fibrous carbs. So it says your amount, if you're wanting to know that, is a half a cup up to 1 cup. Half a cup is really best for weight loss mode. If you wanted to go to 1 cup in maintenance, you can give that a try. But weight loss mode, half a cup is best. But honestly, it's this hand right here. Okay. So your lean protein source would be under here. Your fibrous carb would be under here. So just no more than what can fit underneath this hand. So we have broccoli, asparagus, squash, okra, green leafy vegetables, spinach, cabbage, cucumbers, bell peppers, hot peppers, cauliflower, kraut, dill pickles. So of course that's just a small tiny list, but that's an idea, give you an idea of what's in your category 2 fibrous carb. There are over, though this is exciting news for most people, there are over 60 approved bread and bread type items. When I say that, I mean like a tortilla or a pita, but there's over 60 approved bread or bread type items in the category 2 fibrous carb category. Okay, so you would take something from this category here and put it with something from this category here. You would cook it up in the right oil, doctor it up with right condiments, and you know what? Using 0-calorie condiments is really your best. But there are some other condiments, but there's a lot of 0-calorie ones out there as well. So y'all give me some hearts or some thumbs up or something if you see something that you would put together for a meal from a category 1 and category 2. Yes, okay, good. Kim sees something she'd put together. Sarah does. Excellent. Good, Angie. Lydia, awesome. Awesome. Good. Okay. So it's simply just taking something from this and something from this. Thank you, Christina. Good. And making a meal out of it. Good job, Steve. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So we're going to scroll up one more time. And now this is just simply showing you that you can take something from this category and something from this category, put it together, doctor it up with the right oils, and throw on some condiments that you might need, or some 0-calorie ones if you're being more choosy with your calories, and you'll have an excellent fat burning meal. Now we're going to scroll down one more time, and I want us to have a look at this plus sign right here. That plus sign is different than the other one. What's different about it? That's right. There's no flames. There's no flames. There's no flame behind it. Now, what I want you to know though is that does not mean that you're out of efficient fat burning or anything like this. What I want you to know is this is still a great fat burning meal. It is still approved combinations and all of that. It's just that these up here with the flames are they're the meals that are going to be like you're blowtorching fat, like you'd blowtorch butter coming off like that. Okay, these others just have a little bit more carbs in them and different things like that, or a little bit more fat, but I still want you to realize that there's it's still great for fat burning. But what I want you to know is there's still these nuances, so I'm going to try to start teaching you these little nuances already. So category 6 superfood, it is one of the foods that you can eat by itself. It does have all 4 macronutrients in there: water, protein, carbs, and fat. So let's look at this list: pintos, black beans, red beans, soybeans, peanut butter, nuts, seeds. This is also where avocados are. So all of those, there's a lot more in the food library, but this is just a really small list. Now you can eat category 6 superfoods by themselves. So this is saying that if you wanted to eat a category 6 superfood by itself, that you could have of these particular items, a cup up to 1.5 cups. You can doctor it up with the right condiments and have a great fat burning meal, a great fat burning meal. So don't be afraid of these just because I said that those others were better. These are still going to keep you in EFB. So if you are having those excuse me, if you're having these as a part of a meal, you don't want to use a cup to 1.5 cups. That's if you're eating it by itself. If you're going to have it as part of a meal, you're going to end up having less than that because it's going to fit about right here on your hand. Okay, because we use our hands as our measuring tools. So we're going to scroll down again. Now, what this is showing you is that you can take a category 6 superfood and put it with a category 2 fibrous carb. Now, your superfood is going to be pretty much, this hand, and your category 2 fibrous carb could be over here. You could do that. And then you can doctor it up with the right condiments. Now, there's a column that is no longer here. The column was no longer here. It's no longer here. What column is now missing from this? Hey, Marla on Facebook, if you're still there. I see that you answered that torch, Deidre. Oils. That's right, Steve. There's no oils here. Now, obviously, you could use the 0-calorie cooking spray with any of this, but the reason that we don't have the oils here anymore is because these things bring a little bit more of an insulin release due to the fact they have more carbs in them, and we do not want to put fat with carbs. Okay, so the oils have left right there. Yes, awesome. Thank you, Lydia. Yep. So we just want to make sure that we start to learn that. No fat with carbs, no carbs with fat. So this, though, this is where Travis says you get your greens and beans. So you can get your green leafy vegetables and put your beans with it, and you've got your greens and beans. But I also want you to know that this is where you find a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So superfood, approved peanut butter. Approved peanut butter is never going to have hydrogenated vegetable oil in it. So you're going to want to make sure that you find an approved peanut butter that you like. And there is a hierarchy of peanut butter as to which ones are better for you. Yes, you can buy Jif Natural and other things from the grocery store, but the best one is called Better Than Peanut Butter. And then you've got Nuts and More, and it's a flavored peanut butter. And then you've got Peanut Butter and Company. So those are really the best peanut butters, but there's a lot of peanut butters approved that you can just buy in your regular grocery store, and some of those you can find in the regular grocery store. So you take your peanut butter, and then you get a category 2 fibrous carb bread that I mentioned a minute ago. See, bread isn't listed here because bread is really not best, okay, but a lot of people, hey, my friend Nikki Kyle lost 92 pounds, and she ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, an approved one, every day. So she loves peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And then you'd get your jelly from your condiments. You would just do a jelly that's sugar-free and fits the rule. So you would have, this is peanut butter and jelly sandwich right here. And those are the things that you'll, continue to learn and hone in on when you're making your own meals. And the reason that we teach you all of this is so that you can author your own meal plan. So let's say, for example, that I said, Travis, I want your meal plan. Travis is our founder, if you don't know that yet. But I said, Travis, I want your meal plan. What do you eat? And he handed me his meal plan. I would not be happy. I do not like seafood. I'm not going to eat that. And so, but he eats a lot of it. So I don't want to know his meal plan. I need to be able to author my own meal plan. And that's what we want to teach all of you to do. So now we've come to a new category, category 4, protein plus fat. So it's a great protein. It's just got more fat in it than a lean protein. Now, this fat is it's okay. This fat is fine. It's not going to hurt you. Our body actually needs fats for certain functions. So this would be good. No problem. You do have to make sure that you portion control this, but it can be really great for fat burning. Now, if you'll notice right here, it says 2 to 6 ounces. What were the ounces up above on the lean proteins? Yes, Angie, 2 to 8 ounces. But you'll see that this one was reduced just a little bit, and I'm going to explain why. 1 gram of protein has 4 calories. 1 gram of fat has 9. So there's more calories in fat. So we have a little less ounces. You're still getting the same amount of nutrients and calorie wise. It's just that you just need a little less to do that. Now, do you think I've ever measured it? No. I just cook it and put it underneath my hand. Okay. So, and I don't worry about it. So I don't put a lot of, uh, it's important to kind of know this information, but I don't stress myself out in my kitchen weighing, measuring, or doing anything. I just cook it, put it underneath my hand because everybody's hands are going to work out for their body. Then, and that's what I do. So, but I do want you to know the ounces because it has helped me in a restaurant though. Because when it says, "Would you like your steak to be 6 ounces or 8 ounces?" I go, "Oh, 6." So I know that. So it's important to know for that. But at home, I don't worry about it. Okay, whole eggs. So your egg whites were in your lean protein category 1, but this is where your whole eggs are because the yolk is the good fat. Steak, all of your cuts of steak are here. Pork ribs, beef ribs, turkey spam, pulled pork, beef brisket, 93% lean up to 95.9% lean ground meat, and turkey kielbasa as long as no more than 50% of the calories come from fat. So this is a good little start to category 4s. I'm going to touch base on some of these things. 93% up to 95.9% lean ground meat. It could be beef, turkey, chicken. That's a processed meat that's ground up and put on its little styrofoam wrapped in its plastic. 93 up to 95.9 is a category 4. But when you hit 96 and above, that would be considered a lean protein. But do not go below 93. 93, less than 93% is not approved for a perfect day. Because what's happened with something less than 93%, basically they've just taken a bunch of fat and added some meat to it. It's too fatty, too fatty. So make sure that you keep in line with that percentage. I also like to touch base on this turkey spam because some people, when I said turkey spam, automatically went, "Ooh, gross." And some people went, "Oh, wow, I can't believe that's on the program." Here's the thing. Our goal in Shibboleth is to teach you everything that you could eat and what is possible to eat, but we're not saying that you have to eat it. We're also not promoting that you eat it because there's foods that are better for you than others, but we do not discriminate against food or anything else in this program. We're going to tell you absolutely everything that works. You then get to choose that. So maybe you are a grass-fed, grass-finished kind of person, and that's what you're going to eat. But maybe you are a turkey spam person, then you can eat it. Now, are we going to tell you that it's the absolute best thing for you? No. We're going to tell you that if you eat a little turkey spam while you're losing weight, will it work? Yes. So it just depends on what you want to do. I have tried turkey spam. I had never eaten turkey spam. And then I went and bought some and I don't like it. So I'm not going to eat turkey spam. Now, I do like real spam though, but I didn't like the turkey spam. But the real spam is not on the program. And I hadn't eaten it in years anyway. But anyway, I just want to make that a point that it's not like we're promoting a processed canned meat, but we're going to tell you what will work. Everybody's taste buds are different. Everybody's leanings are different. Everybody's budget is different. And everybody can do this program, whether you have all the money in the world, unlimited budget, to a little bitty bitty budget. You can do it. Okay. So what this is saying, oh, let me ask you a question. Can you eat category 4 by itself? Yes. Awesome, Sarah. You can eat category 4 by itself. Awesome, Steve, Lydia. Yes, you can do that. Now, why I find that to be important to make sure that you know is because maybe you get up in the morning and all you got is some eggs in there. You can just cook yourself some scrambled eggs and you're good to go. You've had a properly combined meal and you didn't even have to combine anything. I also find this very useful when I go to luncheons because I think I mentioned that last night. I do a lot of luncheons. And so when you go to these luncheons and I look at the trays of food and I'm like, fat bus, fat bus, fat bus. Oh, they've got steak or, oh, they've got chicken or whatever. And I'll just eat that. And the reason I mentioned chicken just then is because all food, even if it's a lean protein that's cooked in an oil that you don't know what that oil is, you haven't had control over what that oil is, needs to be considered a protein plus fat. Because basically they took a piece of chicken, which was lean protein, cooked it up in some oil that you don't know. It's probably not coconut oil. ghee butter or MCT oil. So you got to call it a protein plus fat. And then I can just eat that and be good and still have a good approved meal and perfect day. But optimally, when you're having a category 4, have it with a category 2. That would be good. You can do that. You can't have category 4 by itself. So let's, we don't need to read that list again, but so you can take something from this category 4 list and something from the category 2 list and put together a meal. Y'all give me some thumbs up if you see some things on there that you would like, that you would be willing to eat. Awesome, Michelle. Good. Good. Awesome. Good. See, y'all are already starting to mentally put some meals together that will work. Your job is to always keep your list of meals that you like, your favorites, your go-tos, so that you are really enjoying everything that you eat. Okay. Now, what you're not going to eat with a category 4 is 3 categories. Remember how I said last night, I like to teach you the ones that you must eat together, and then I like to teach you the ones that you shouldn't eat together. So there's three categories. These are all higher in carbs, not necessarily a fibrous carb, okay? They're higher in other energy carbs. What are they that you don't eat with a category 4? That's right. That's right. EC is one of them, and energy carb is definitely one of them. There's 2 more. Fruit. Yep, yep, yep. Good job, Steve. You got that one. And Sarah and Angie. Yes, awesome. That's right. So you don't eat energy carbs, fruit, or superfoods, which are categories 3, 5, and 6. You just don't eat those with your protein plus fats. I'm going to explain why, because I think the science behind this is crucial for you to understand. 3s, 5s, and 6s, which is energy carbs, fruit, and superfoods, those bring more of an insulin release. Are they bring an insulin release? Because they elevate your blood sugar. When your blood sugar is elevated, insulin comes out to regulate the blood sugar. If you do not have fat in your system at the time that insulin is out, you're still in EFB. You're good to go. But if fat is in your system at the same time that insulin is in your system, insulin came out to help you regulate blood sugar, but it got distracted and went and collected fat because insulin is a hormone and it is a growth hormone that collects fat. That's weird. I never even knew that that existed before Shibboleth, but it does, and I'm glad that we know it. Okay, so it's really important to know that. So you won't see us combining anything with that's a 3, 5, or 6 with a category 4 because that would not be an approved combination for a perfect day. If you want that on Planet Shibboleth, do you know that you can still have an unapproved combination? You can. You can have an unapproved combination on a holiday. So you can still have things, it's just there would be a holiday rather than a perfect day. In this management system that we use, it's important to understand that you can do it. It's just called a holiday. You get right back to your perfect days. Let's see. Kim, the fried egg avocado toast. There is a recipe in the food library for a fried egg avocado toast. It is a sliver amount of the avocado, so it works out. And so if you find out that there is something in the food library that is not meeting the rules exactly, just know if it's in there as a recipe or something else that they've determined that it will work. Okay, because the avocados have more fat in them than carbs, so it'll still work out. And that toast that you're going to be eating would be a category 2 fibrous carb. So it just works, Kim, because they've looked at the nutrition information and have determined that. It's also not a bunch of avocados, like a quarter of a cup. Let's see. Sarah said, would you be able to have a category 4 meat as a sandwich on category 2 bread? Yes. Yes. This is where you'll find a hamburger. You can do a 93% lean ground beef patty, put it on a category 2 bun, and you're good to go. Yep. Yes, Kim, it'll be fine. There, just look up the recipe and read what it says. Yeah, it's a real popular recipe. You'll just want to find it in there. All right, so let's have a look here. We have come to a new category. Category 3, energy carb. So quarter cup up to half a cup. This is where all your potatoes are, whether it's a white potato or a sweet potato, that's where they are. Oatmeal, steel cut oats, weight control oatmeal, long grain brown rice, quinoa, lima beans, peas, tomatoes, onions, carrots, whole wheat pasta, and whole grain pasta. Now I'm going to hit some of the things on this list because I have information about them and opinions. So whole wheat pasta and whole grain pasta, you can do them. You could have quarter cup of it. I personally don't do them. I do some things, pastas that I think are better. There's some Explore Cuisine black bean pasta. It's delicious. Yes, it's black, but it's still good. There is a edamame pasta. It's a category 1 and 2. So remember how earlier I said some things can be 2? The black bean pasta and that edamame pasta are 1 and 2 together. That means it has lean protein in it and it has fibrous carb in it. So it counts as both. So you can do that. There's also a pasta called carbonara pasta. Now, the carbonara pasta is actually a category 1, 2, and 3 all together. Now, when you see something in the food library that's listed like that, you just want to know that it has enough lean protein, fiber, and it's got energy carb in it. So it's all of them. So just a little quick application. If you are having a pasta that's a category 1 and 2, oh, and by the way, I do those other pastas because you can have more of them than a quarter of a cup. So if you are doing a black bean pasta that is a category 1 and 2 together, and you wanted some meat with it, which categories of meat could you have with it? Well, not, I just call meat, but the protein sources. Which protein source categories could you eat with a category 1 and 2 pasta? This is a good application question. Sarah got it right. Any of them. Yep. And Steve, you can also do protein plus fat. Yep, Sarah got them right. Sarah got it right. All of them. Because a category 1 and a 2 is a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So that's your pasta. You can have lean protein meat with that. You can have shellfish with that. And you can have protein plus fat with that. So you can have any of the meat sources with it. So excellent. But let's talk about this one. This is another application question. If you get the carbonara pasta, that's a category 1, 2, and 3, that 3, ding, 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 which meats or proteins could you have with that? That's right, Steve. You could have a 1 and a 7. Yes. We just would not choose to have a protein plus fat with that because we don't have protein plus fats with energy carbs. And if you're going to eat a pasta that is considered a 1, 2, and 3 altogether, you just don't do a protein plus fat with that one. Good application, y'all. That was great. Good. Okay, let's talk about carrots because sometimes carrots get confusing. Carrots, when they're cooked, are sweeter and they've brought more sugar out in them. So that's why you want to call that a energy carb, just to make sure that you stay safe. But if you're eating just like raw carrots, you can actually eat them as a freebie if you needed to. Let's say that you need just to have something. You can have those as a freebie. All right. But if you're cooking carrots, you got to consider them a category 3 energy carb. Now, a lot of people ask a question about the onions and tomatoes. Well, if you're going to use like a little slice of onion that is no thicker than your pinky, and the same thing about a tomato, you could just call those a condiment and have it on a burger, okay, that kind of thing. But if you are using enough tomato or enough onion that it's up to a quarter of a cup, please consider it a category 3 so that you make sure that you combine it properly, okay? All of your peas are here, and most of your lighter colored beans are in this category as well. All right, so I've got my brain trained that if I want to eat a category 3, I must eat it with a category 1 or 7. So I must eat it with a lean protein, and a fibrous carb. So let's go over the science of that. You're going to eat some energy carbs. Now, let me ask you this question. At a quarter of a cup, did you overeat it? That's right, Sarah. You did not overeat. That's right, Steve, Angie, thank you. You didn't overeat it at a quarter of a cup. Now, just eating it, though, did elevate the blood sugar a little bit, and that needs to be dealt with. So insulin comes out to deal with that, but it's not going to be dose after dose after dose to deal with, some big giant potato, okay? It would just be enough to deal with that. But also, you know that this whole thing of Shibboleth runs together, and you want to stay in EFB. So, good job, Deidre. You want to remain in EFB. So in order to deal with that insulin that came out, because later on in the day, if you're going to eat something fatty, you want that insulin to have gone away, right? Because you don't want it to go collect that. If you eat it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb, the protein in the lean protein and the fiber in the fibrous carb are going to help neutralize the insulin that came out to help out with the energy carb. And that's how you are controlling insulin when you eat. And you're just not going to eat a category 3 with a category 4. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Okay. Category 5 fruit. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. Category 5 fruit, berries, apples, oranges, grapefruit. I'm going to stop right there because all fruit is in fruit. But the reason I stopped there is because these 4 are your best for weight loss. So if you do want to have some fruit, you can do that. Now, remember last night how I said that there's 3 different, we have 2 modes on Shibboleth, weight loss mode or maintenance mode. And there's 3 differences between them. One is how many holidays you can have in a month. And you can have up to 6 holidays in weight loss and up to 12 in maintenance. But I talk about in our fast track week, I talk about 6 only, okay? But the second thing is how you eat fruit. And the third is your mindset, because a lot of people get started thinking this is a diet, but they got to realize that this is a lifestyle that they're going to be living. And I didn't really understand what lifestyle meant, but now I get it after I've been doing it long enough, and you will too. So the fruit thing is this: in weight loss, you must combine fruit properly to say that you've had a perfect day or a properly combined meal. Okay, so let's say that you want to eat a small orange, and you're going to need to have that with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So maybe you make egg whites and you do a piece of category 2 toast. Or maybe you make an egg white spinach omelet. This would be your protein. This would be your fibrous carb. You eat a small to medium orange. That is going to elevate your blood sugar. Insulin did come out, but you're not eating the large orange. You're not eating a giant orange. You're eating a small one. And insulin comes out, though, to deal with that blood sugar elevation. The lean protein in the protein in the lean protein and the fiber in the fibrous carbs help neutralize the insulin that came out to deal with this fruit. It's like a science experiment is going on in our body at all times. And we're the ones that can be in control of it now that we know. Okay, so I hope that y'all have enjoyed that. What we're going to do now is just go over some different things that you can utilize. Hey, give me a heart or some thumbs up if it all starting to make sense, that the combining of the foods is important and that your job is to just start creating those meals. Sarah, I'd have to look up a cutie and see. Let's do this real quick. I'm clicked on oranges. I was just looking up to see if it specifically mentioned a type of orange. Let's see what this says. I just look up cuties. We'll see. Okay, cuties, mandarin oranges. Awesome, y'all. Thank you for telling me it's making sense. Give me some hearts and stuff. Okay, so here's the cuties. Category 5, fruit. See where that says AC? Remember how sometimes I told you that we would see AC on things? That's antioxidant carb. Okay. 1 cutie as a category 5, or 1 to 2 tablespoons as a condiment. So I guess that means that you could do 1 to 2 tablespoons on a salad or something like that. Let's see what it says about it. Doesn't really say anything else. See, I always check out two things, category and approved portion, but then I always come down and see if there's a description. If there happens to be any linked recipes, then they'll be listed there. And if people have told you where to buy it, it'll be listed here. But this is member added information. So our members build that library for us, the where to buy. We do the recipes, but they do the where to buy. I was going to look up something. Oh no. Oh, I wanted to show you the carbonata. I want to show you the way that it looks when something has it's multiple categories. Okay, so there's the carbonata pasta. I'm going to click on it. Oh, good question, Angie. I will. Good, Sarah. Okay, do you see how we pulled up the carbonata, and you got category 1 lean protein, category 2 fibrous carb, and category 3 energy carb. What this means is that the makeup, the nutritional value of that has enough protein, fiber, and energy carb in it to be all three. So that's how it would look. So if you've got multiple categories under the category, you want to make sure that you pick out the category that needs the most attention. This category 3 right here tells you, oh, don't have that with protein plus fat. And look, you can have up to 1 cup cooked. Now, this right here, this is a weight loss meter. The weight loss meter is just a secondary way to judge food. So basically, you're going to be learning the foods that you like and what categories they go in. But some foods are better for weight loss than others. Our weight loss meter goes from a -3 to a +3. 0 right in the center is not going to help you, not going to hurt you, okay? Positive numbers, if you have them ever so often while you're in weight loss, well, one, having it's not going to throw you out of EFB, but if you do them a lot, you're not going to see the results that you want. But negative numbers are better for weight loss, okay? So what I'm going to do, well, I'm going to show you one. You see how there's the categories listed. Here's your approved portion. This little link shows you that you could buy it in our store. This little link right here shows you that you could buy it on Amazon. And just to let you know that if you buy it on Amazon through this link, Shibboleth will get a little 4 cents on the dollar. And if you put carbonara pasta into your Amazon cart and then you decide to buy furniture, a mattress, pool chemicals, and lots of other expensive things, we would also get 4 cents on the dollar on anything that you put in your cart. So if you're a big Amazon shopper, please find like that one thing that you can go through our library all the time, and it will help Shibboleth financially. So let's have a look at this. And we come down here and there's a description. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that you saw a description. And so I'm going to show one more way to look at that, Angie. I'm going to go to the food library. Now, if you're brand new, your food library is not as big as this one that I'm pulling up. It's a smaller food library. So let's just go right here to, I'm actually going to look up meal replacements. Right here, meal replacements. And the reason I'm doing meal replacements is because you can get some excellent meal replacements for great fat loss, but they're best to have them in the -2 and -3 range. Okay, so this is all of our meal replacements. Do you see these little blue boxes? These blue boxes here are filters. So let's say that you needed your meal replacement to be gluten-free. You just check gluten-free. Now, what's going to happen is it is going to regenerate. It's going to generate a new list. And I'm going to wait for it to do that. Okay, so now do you see how that's green? That means the gluten-free filter has been applied to the meal replacement list. Y'all, this is getting good, isn't it? I love all these little features. Now, right here, weight loss meter. There's your -3. There's your +3. You've got this little ball here, this little ball here. And you can see how when I touch the ball or this line, that it's giving you a range, -3 to +3. Well, let's take this little ball right here and I'm going to slide it over to where the range is -2 to -3. Then you hit this set button. That set button is going to generate a new list, And this list is going to be gluten-free and -2, -3 meal replacements. What I like about using this is that it gives me fewer things to choose from, and I don't need to be wondering about all these thousands and thousands of items in here. So now here's something I like, the Buff Bake Protein Crunchy Cookies, any flavor, and they are a -3 on the weight loss meter. Now, when we were in that carbonara pasta, it had a yellow -1. We just kind of do different colors. -3 is going to be in red. I'll show you. So like there, -3 is going to be in red, -2 would be a different color, -1 would be a different color, and so forth, okay? I also want you to see that, and if you're working your way this week, if y'all will work your way through the fast track laps, each day takes you through doing these things that I'm showing you, but gives you a little kind of a little assignment to do with them so that you have practice making it happen. Do you see how there's a heart there and there's a heart there and there's a heart there? I like those items, and so I have hearted them. And look, 70 other people have hearted them. 58 other people have hearted them. 276 other people have hearted them. These are the Mighty Muffins, that one I said I'd eaten 30 of in my first 20 days. But, and you can find those at all kinds of stores. We just carry a larger variety of them. And then you see that this button right here that says add to grocery list. When you get to lap 4, it's going to teach you how to create a grocery list and how to add something to your grocery list, which is really, really cool. So got off track there a little bit, but I love showing the website. I am into that website. And if y'all can bear with me for about 10 more minutes, if you've got to go, I understand, but if you give me 10 more minutes, because I took a little detour there, I'm going to go over this. So category 2, breads. This is exciting for most people. We have the La Tortilla Factory 50-calorie tortilla, the Olay Extreme Wellness high fiber tortilla, Healthy Life bread, Nature's Own double fiber wheat bread, Brand Crisp bread, Healthy Life hot dog buns, and Thomas Light 100-calorie English muffins. Now, obviously, I said there's 60 or more approved, probably more than that, but that's just a small list of those. You would just go into category 2 breads. There's an entire link for category 2 breads. I'm never going to eat another category 3 bread for an approved day. I don't need one. There's so many category 2 breads that are better for you. So you never want to have more than 100 calories of bread in a meal. And if you're going to use bread with a meal, it's really better to have that at breakfast or lunch rather than at dinner. You can still have it there, but just don't get concerned in the morning if you don't lose any weight, or you might see a little uptick on the scale, because 2 to 3 grams of water attaches itself to 1 gram of carb, and these still are carbs. They're just better for you than a bread that's not a category 2. And I also make that point out because let's say that I'm making I love this recipe called the fat burning chicken enchiladas. And I only do 1 wrap when I'm making a sandwich or a wrap. But when I'm doing the fat burning chicken enchiladas, because most of my meal is inside those chicken enchiladas, I'll do 2. Well, this Olay Extreme Wellness high fiber tortilla, they have some versions of that is a 50-calorie item, and they have some versions of that's an 80-calorie item. And so I don't want to buy the 80-calorie items if I'm doing the fat burning chicken enchiladas. I just don't buy those at all. But I just want to make sure I don't get those by accident with those, because that would give me 160 calories in a bread type item, and I don't want more than 100. Actually, I want less. The less bread is best, but you can do what you need to with it. This Healthy Life bread, and that's where you can find some category 2 buns, fibrous carb buns, which is pretty cool. Brand Crisp bread is more like a dry cracker. It's not like a bread. It's a dry cracker, but it's extremely popular. It's very tasty. They've got sunflower seed flavor, pumpkin seed, raisin and honey. Got all kinds of good ones if you like a dry cracker. So approved sweeteners: stevia, Splenda, monk fruit, xylitol. I love xylitol and monk fruit, and I use stevia quite a bit too. Now, I like to touch on the Splenda too. Same reason I kind of touched base on the turkey spam. We're not promoting Splenda, but what we do tell you is that it will work for weight loss. So if you already use Splenda, it's no big deal. Go ahead. It's fine. See, there's a lot of programs that will try to tell you there's so many things you can't have. We're going to teach you how to have all of the things that we know will work for the program. And Splenda just happens to work, but it's not like we're promoting it. And so what I do is when I go out to a restaurant, if I'll order unsweet tea and I'll put a Splenda in there, it tastes fine. And then I'm getting to drink something with my meal. But at home, I use xylitol a lot. I did just buy a stevia and monk fruit liquid sweetener, which is really, really good. I didn't really like the stevia liquid sweetener by itself, but when I added that monk fruit to that stevia liquid sweetener, it was good. It's from Whole Earth. Yeah, Whole Earth Sweetener Company was what that was. Okay, approved beverages. Now, nothing takes the place of your water. You need to get in at a minimum 64 ounces, which is just 4 of these, or up to a gallon. Okay, be shooting for a gallon most days. You'll have such great success because you're going to be physically and mentally satisfied. You're going to be flushing out fat and toxins, and you're going to be, it does help metabolize fat. So that's a good thing. You can also have any 0-calorie beverages, but it doesn't take the place of your water. You can have unsweet or approved tea. Again, does not take the place of your water. You can have coffee with approved sweeteners. There is a link for coffee sweeteners, coffee creamers if you want to have a look at that. But I'm going to go ahead and give you a little idea. If you know what a ready to drink protein shake is, a protein shake that's already in a bottle, ready to drink, has a little cap on it. You can use one of those, that's approved one. You can use an approved one, up to 30 calories of that in a coffee. I would only do that if I was a 1-cup coffee drinker person. If you do that to 4 cups of coffee, then that's like you've had a snack, okay, mixed into your coffee. But the reason I say that is because it gives you a little extra protein. It creams it up. It gives you a flavor if you choose a flavored one that you really like, and it sweetens it. So you could do that, but only up to 30 calories that in one time. But the coffee, another thing that you could do is you'd have to call this your extra. Remember how I explained last night that we have little things called an extra and a snack and freebies? You'd have to call this your extra. But in the store, we sell this stuff called Health-Wise High Protein Hot Chocolate. There's about 4 tablespoons in there. You could split that up. And if you're a coffee drinker and you drink more than 1 cup of coffee in a day and you put 1 tablespoon in, it will cream it up. It'll give you extra protein. It'll flavor it and all kinds of stuff. So you could call that an extra for the day. It would be 4 cups of coffee, but you'd have to call it your extra if you do that. So I hope that helps. I know that I'm not even a coffee drinker, but as I've been listening to people, those are the last 2 examples that I gave you are what I do. Okay, let's look at some cheese. You can have up to 50 calories of cheese, but now remember my earlier example that if I wanted to have a slice of cheese, that's 30 calories. And then I would do up to maybe 20 calories in ketchup and maybe do some 0-calorie mustard to get me some more calories. But these are also used as a condiment. You can use up to 50 calories. But see, fat-free feta cheese, Kraft fat-free cheese, Borden fat-free cheese, Laura Lynn fat-free cheese, Kroger brand fat-free cheese, and Lifetime fat-free cheese are all category 1 lean proteins and can be used as your category 1 protein source. So let's say that you want to make yourself a grilled cheese. You could take an approved bread with, you can actually use, I like this Borden fat-free cheese. To me, it tastes the based. Oh goodness, that was going back to Southern Alabama. I'm from Birmingham originally, and every once in a while my accent goes back there. But Borden, you might be thinking it's there anyway. But Borden fat-free cheese is, I think, tastes the best, and it also melts really well. You can use up to 4 slices on a grilled cheese if you wanted to. I didn't need 4. 4 was too many. 4, that cheese was going all over the place. So 3 is what I use if I'm making myself a grilled cheese like that. I usually put 1 slice of, I put some approved bread on a griddle, 1 slice of cheese on each side, and then just put a little bit of a category 1 lean protein deli meat in there. And then I've got a ham and cheese or a turkey and cheese or something like that. And then I'll spray it with, I can't believe it's not butter spray on the outside to get my flavor of that. But I skipped over this Cabot extra light cheese because it's a category 4. So if you don't use more than 50 calories of it, it can be condiment. But if you want it to be the main protein source, you count that Cabot extra light cheese as a category 4. And which categories does that mean you're not going to eat with it? See, I'm really testing y'all now. Because the application part is the most important thing. You got to be able to apply. So if this cheese is a category 4, what categories are you not going to eat with it? Energy, carbs, fruit, and one more. That's right. That's right, Angie. Yep. You're not going to eat your energy, carbs, your fruit, or your superfoods with it. Yes. Okay. And this next one right over here. Good job, Lydia. Right over here. This is your lean protein milks. Okay. So you can use fat-free Fairlife milk, Kroger Carb Master milk, or hemp milk. So you can do all of those milks right there. The reason that these milks work is because they are fortified with protein. They don't have any fat in them and they have extra protein. So if you are going to use this as a category 1 lean protein, which you could do up to 8 ounces if you're doing it as a component of a meal. But if you just want a big old glass of milk before you leave the house, and you can do up to 16 ounces of it by itself if you wanted to. That would be a meal though. Okay, so let's have a look over here. Breadings and flours. You can lightly bread things using coconut flour, Carb Quick flour, Bob's TVP, which is a textured vegetable protein. That is a soy product. Almond flour. So all of those things can be used to lightly bread, maybe some chicken tenders. I like to take chicken tenders, bread them up with that, cook them up in some MCT oil, and it's delicious. Absolutely delicious. We have some cereals here. These are, okay, so I don't want to confuse anybody by saying phase 1 and phase 2, but I'm going to say it. Phase 1 is the foundation of the program. You're always going to be in phase 1 because that's the best part of it for you. Phase 2 is simply, we just open up other parts of the grocery store. We teach you how to have Captain Crunch, Reese's Cocoa Puffs. We teach you how to have that, approved soups, approved frozen foods and things like that. So phase 2 just opens it up more to the inner aisles of the grocery store. Not saying that phase 2 is better for you, because some of that stuff's not. Phase 1 stuff's better for you. But in cereals, some cereals are made better and can be considered a category 1. I mean, a phase 1 cereal, where those Captain Crunch and stuff that I mentioned, those would be a phase 2 cereal. And you got to be careful eating those. You want to make sure you read all about that. But some of the phase 1 cereals that you'd want to use would be Kashi Go Lean Original, K's Natural Cereal, High-Low Nutritious Living. Those are just 3 examples. But if you go to the food library, there is an entire link called phase 1 cereals, and you can see all of the best cereals. There's a big link for phase 2 cereals. Now, I don't know if any of you like almond milk or not, but if you do like almond milk, there's an important thing that I need to tell you about it. It's a category, first of all, it would need to be the unsweetened version, and it's a category 4. It's a category 4 protein plus fat. So if you want that type of milk with a cereal, it must be with a phase 1 cereal, because the phase 2 cereals are just way too starchy, and you need one of these protein milks to go with that cereal to offset the starchiness. So that's really important for you to know. Okay, I'm not going to hit those condiments again because we've already done that. And I'm not going to read over all of these restaurants. But what I want you to know about a restaurant is, please play around in the restaurant guide on the website. And that is one of our laps this week that you can do. It's going to direct you to the restaurant guide. And I want you to play around with that. What I want you to do is I want you to scroll through, and I want you to find a restaurant that you like to frequent. Then you open that one up, and then you look through the foods that are there. And you're going to find a food item that you might like, open it and read how to order it. That's the most important thing. You want to know how to order that meal because maybe you don't order it with these little fried crunchy things on top or the croutons. Maybe you don't have the Texas toast with it. Maybe if you want to eat it with a bread, you need to be prepared and take your own tortilla or bread. And that would mean that you'd need to take a little survival kit with you. We've got entire videos on creating survival kits, okay, if you want to have those things. So you can do that. Let's see, Sarah Johnson. Can I just say how happy I am to see Chick-fil-A nuggets listed on here? All right, well, let me just talk about Chick-fil-A real quick. So you can do 8 to 12 grilled chicken nuggets with a side salad. I really like their side salad. And you can use the light Italian dressing from there. I don't put the whole thing on there. I just drizzle and eat, and I'll drizzle again, then I'll eat. And you could do that. But looky here, you can take 4 less nuggets. I'm always willing to give up 4 nuggets to get the fried ones. But so you can give up 4 nuggets, but then you can order the fried ones with a side salad. I know, it's awesome. But let me just tell you what else you can have. You can have their egg white grill. It's an egg white grill. You can also have the fried filet, the spicy fried filet, or the grilled filet. You're not going to eat their bun. So what I do sometimes is I'll order the side salad, but then I'll order the fried filet and eat it on top of there just when I get tired of eating nuggets. Because sometimes I feel like their fried fillets are a little bit juicier and that kind of thing. So I'll do that. But it is a amen, hallelujah moment. Now, let me just tell you, if you like their diet lemonade, it has to be considered your extra for the day because even though it says diet, it's not 0 calorie. I don't know what they do, but it's not 0 calorie. The small one is 50 calories, and that would be an extra. So you can call that an extra. Yeah, yes, you can have that spicy chicken, just don't have the bun and have it with a side salad, Sarah, and you're good to go. So that's how it's so easy to have. See, I love about this lifestyle is I didn't have to come up with all this myself. I just get to benefit from it. Okay. And I just find the things that I like. There's no problem. Do I still like French fries? Yes. Do I still eat French fries? Yes. I just eat them when I am on a holiday. But if it's not a holiday, I didn't want it to be a holiday. I'm not going to give in and have French fries. I'm going to have them for a holiday, and I'm going to have this stuff right here. Okay, there is one more thing right here. I wish that was there. It's those meal replacements that I showed you already. So that's what I want to talk. I already showed you that, so we're going to let that go. But I want to come over here to the fast track. I want to show you what you can mark off by having participated in tonight. Okay, so we got the fast track. I hope you're working your way through this. Today is day 2 or lap 2 right here. I hope that you did lap 1 yesterday. And if you didn't, you can keep working on it because they can be worked on. You can work in and out of them. You don't have to finish one before you go to the next, but you do want to have all of them finished by Saturday if possible. And just set some time aside to do it. It's very important. This is going to change your life if you know how to do it. It's changed mine. So on lap 2, actually, it's not on lap 2, it's on lap 3 because these don't line up with days necessarily. Not everybody signs up on the same day. Okay, so lap 3, if you go right here to lap 3, see right here where it says participate in the Monday night live webinar, simple food combining, you can now go check that box. If a friend joined with you, or if you're watching this later, you click here and it would take it on demand and it would give you the video on demand. But y'all have participated, so you can go and click that box right there. Do you see right here where it says save this simple food combining link? This is the website I just used. This is what I used with you to go over everything. So if you click there and you save it on your computer or you save it on your phone, you will have that link to that to refer to. Once you've saved it, you come back and you check this box, okay? And then just make sure that you're doing each one of these little things. And remember, this video here shows you how to do everything in lap 3. And then when you get to lap 4, this video here is going to show you how to do everything in lap 4. And if you hover over these little information eyes, this black box is exactly what I would tell you to do if you and I were together and explaining that. Then after you've done those little tasks, you just check these boxes off. These 4 right here all have to do with the same thing, but I need to show you how to do them in order to make sure you understand. So I hope y'all like this lap system. I really do. I think it's great. I think it was a really good way to it's like a little map, a little way just to direct you to all of these different areas. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. You're welcome, Angie. You're welcome. Y'all make sure to check. You're welcome, Lydia. Check your inbox tomorrow for your email. If you're brand new, then you get emails. If not, it's going to be in the Facebook group. But in the Facebook group, please go into there and participate, because you get some. Oh, let me share one more thing. You get participation, well, engagement. It's called engagement points. Look at lap 7. See, there's a badge here in the end, and you keep up with your own points each day, and you can put them in there. And points are just simple things like, let me show you what they are. They're simple things like showing a screenshot of your finished lap 2, just things like that, just to keep us all engaged and having fun. So here's the Shibboleth new member fast track group. And I put all of them right here, but you'll get them daily in your email if you're new. So for example, for today's engagement points, I just wanted you to comment on a post, telling what you liked about the welcome party yesterday, if you got to do that. I want you to post an introduction of yourself in the group. You get 5 points for doing that. Now, points are just for fun, okay? But we like badges around here, and you do get to put your points on your badge. And then these engagement points can really be earned on the day that they're assigned. So if you don't get Mondays done, don't worry about it. Just do Tuesdays, that kind of thing. Leave a comment on Monday's video for 1 point. Share a screenshot of your completed lap 1 for 12 points. Share a screenshot of completed lap 2 for 7 points, and so forth. So you would just keep track of the things that you did, write down that number right there. At the end of the week, you total up all of your numbers and put them in your fast track. You would just put them right on that badge that I showed you. So those are just for fun. It's also really a way you'd put them right here, and see that can increase or decrease. And then once you have it set, you press that set button. But those are just for fun, because I truly believe that if we are here and we are encouraging each other, and we have this little hub that we can go to, then we're going to have great success. But if we're all sitting around not talking, not encouraging, not doing anything, it's not nearly as fun. So those are to make it fun. Oh, awesome, Leslie. I hope to talk to you soon too. You're welcome, Sharon and Michelle. Thank you all. Okay, let us know if you have any questions. Bye, everybody.